All right, so look, there's no secret that this offseason the Washington Commanders are going to be tied to a lot of pending free agents for a couple of reasons. First reason is we just turned in one of the best seasons ever by a first unit team, first year team, whatever you want to say. Secondly, we have a lot of pending needs, and a lot of these free agents we can be tied to can fill those needs this offseason, whether it's defensive line, edge rushers, offensive line, whatever. You can pick all the needs that we need to fill, but we need to fill a lot. And then third but not last, certainly, is Dan Quinn. He is a coach that a lot of people want to play for, and he has a lot of players across the league that he's coached, whether it's defensive coordinator or, in fact, head coach. He has a lot of people that respect him and would love to play for him. So we have a lot of these beat reporters tying Washington to specifically Dallas Cowboys pending free agents. None other than Odighizuwa. Osa Odighizuwa is set to be a free agent this offseason, and Washington is an early team to watch out for that is tied to signing him when free agency comes up. Let's talk about it.
The way that we live is not for everybody. We're going to run and put our bodies on people in a violent manner.
I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, and shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's on.
You know what time it is. It's time to come out.
I love the way she move it, shake it on me.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We have the Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, we're going to talk about Washington potentially being tied to Dallas Cowboys defensive lineman Osa Odighizuwa and how I feel about Washington potentially signing him in free agency. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 9,000 subscribers, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you haven't reached that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So as I mentioned pretty much in the intro, is a lot of these Dallas Cowboys players are going to be tied to Dan Quinn. One, because a lot of these defensively specifically players on Dallas loved playing for Dan Quinn. I mean, these guys tore it up with him at the helm. And not to say their defense wasn't really good this past year with Mike Zimmer, because a lot of it was due to scheme and injuries, but they did not play as well as they did under Dan Quinn. So a lot of these veterans that experienced Dan Quinn are probably going to want to come to Washington. And on top of that, last season we signed a couple away from Dallas, like Tyler Biadasz, who held it down at center this season and honestly is the glue to that offensive line, and obviously Dorrance Armstrong, who plays significant roles on the defense at the edge rush position or interior position at times, and he has a significant spot on this roster. And I think he's a guy that is well connected with Osa Odighizuwa, and he could persuade him to be like, hey man, come here to Washington. We got room for you, and we could definitely use you. Now, Odighizuwa is 26 years old. He'll be 27 by the start of next year. So maybe you sign him to a 2-year, maybe 3-year deal. And he could come to Washington and if you look at his track record, he played his best ball under Dan Quinn. Is that a shocker? No. A lot of the Dallas Cowboys players that are currently on their roster played their best ball under Dan Quinn. And obviously, as we know, as Washington fans, we watched all season long. The interior line, the defensive line struggled. I even said this morning on my Top of the Morning show, don't miss it. I'm tired of y'all missing the Top of the Morning show. I'm telling you, it's a good conversation that be going on over there, man. 9 a.m. Wednesdays and Fridays. Catch me. I talked about it. I said I want to strip down this whole entire defensive line unit. I'm talking about bye-bye Deron Payne, bye-bye Jonathan Allen, bye-bye Cleveland Ferrell, Dorrance Armstrong, take a step back. Like, he's going to be here, but I don't want him to be playing significant roles. Tay Fowle, he's good. He can come back, but I don't want Tay Fowle playing every single snap as well. I want a whole do-over to the offensive line or defensive line, because I felt like we were so piss poor in that department this season due to the lack of pass rush, and also we knew we were super piss poor on the running, on stopping the run last year. So a guy like Odighizuwa, who is pretty young still, he'll give you that impact immediately, being able to stop the run and being a force in the middle with creating interior pressure. I think we need to offload either Jonathan Allen or Deron Payne. More specifically, probably Jonathan Allen, because Deron Payne has the more upside and he's younger. But at this point, bro, I want to get rid of both of them and just start new. Like, the only person that I want to keep, and that's because he's a rookie and he still has upside, is Jerzon Newton and Johnny Newton. And maybe getting Odighizuwa, maybe signing him to, maybe a 2-year, 3-year deal, like I said before. and a second year Johnny Newton, that could be your transition from Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen. Again, I love what those guys did for us, man. But you cannot sit up here and tell me with a straight face that since being paid, those guys delivered exactly what they were supposed to deliver that their contract says. It does. They're not delivering what we expect. I'm talking about, at least in the past, they were able to stop the run together. Like, they're not even able to do that. And obviously injuries. And then the lack of pass rush. That's really what pisses me off. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I know how important stopping the run is. I know it's super important. Or, again, it's going to look like how it did this year. But what pisses me more off is the lack of interior pass rush. If you know football, if you watch football, which we all do, the interior pressure, I think, honestly, is more important than the exterior pressure, because the exterior pressure are just the edge rushers getting home and making the big play. You know what I'm saying? But interiorly, if the pressure is bad interiorly, that is where the money is made for a defense, because that means the quarterback is basically caved in because he can't go nowhere but run out. And if you already got defensive ends, edge rushers that play their role, know how to stay upfield, keep their contain on the outside, it could be a long day for a quarterback. So I think, in my opinion, pushing the pocket and creating interior pressure is much more important. And I think a guy like Odighizuwa can get you a breath of fresh air. Now, is he a stat killer? No, but he can be another Dallas Cowboy that can come to Washington and play under Dan Quinn, and he may actually turn into a beast. Now, in 2024, Odighizuwa, he played in all 17 games. This man has only missed one game in his whole entire career, and that was due to COVID back a couple seasons ago. But he played in every single game this season. He started in every single game this season. He played 860 snaps and had 78.10% of his snaps played. He accumulated 5 sacks, 47 total tackles, and 25 solos and 22 assist tackles with one fumble recovery, or forced fumble, I should say. And in 2023, he played in all 17 games again, started in 17 games, played 637 snaps, 3 sacks, 46 tackles, and 26 tackles, and solos, and 20 assists. Then in 2022, this is another season under Dan Quinn. He played in 17 games again. He had 4 sacks. He had 43 tackles, and he had 1 forced fumble again. And then in 2021, he played in 16 games, again, just missed 1 game due to COVID. He had another stellar season as he put up just 2 sacks. That's not the best, but he had a lot of tackles and 36 total tackles, 21 assists, and 15 assist tackles. So, again, not somebody that is going to really, kill the stat sheet, but it is a third-round pick. But he's a guy that deserves to get paid. He's a guy that I think deserves to be back with Dan Quinn, and he can come in and give us a breath of fresh air. It's not necessarily that we're just over Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, for the simple fact that they can't play in the NFL no longer. It's that maybe their time here is up. Maybe they can't do it in this specific scheme because they're not giving us what we paid for. And although Odighizuwa doesn't kill the stat sheet, I would much rather take a chance on him, at least to see, okay, maybe a new guy coming in here, maybe a guy that thrived under Dan Quinn and Joe Witt and all those guys. Maybe he can come in and he can give us something, and he can have a Tyler Biadasz-esque year. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember when we signed Tyler Biadasz from Dallas, they had a lot of bad to say about Tyler Biadasz, but when he got here, it was like, man, we don't see none of that, and he ended up being a true staple of this offensive line. I'm hoping that could be the case for Odighizuwa. For us, if we in fact do sign him, I think we're going to sign him. I think this is one of the most guaranteed signings. A lot of people have been talking about this for a while now. I think this is who they're looking for. This is the kind of guy that they want, and given again the fact that he has the rapport already with some of our coaches here, that just makes the signing that much more obvious that it's going to happen. As far as transactions goes with him, he only got fined this season for roughing the passer against Philly. And then he only had 1 injury, which was COVID-19. So this guy, he contributes. He's probably not super crazy stats, but he contributes and he stays healthy. And at that point, again, with our interior defensive line, since we don't have nobody that's a game changer on it, and for that whole matter, the whole entire defensive line, your best ability is availability. And Deron Payne was banged up in the most crucial game of the season, where we would need him badly. And I'm not trying to blame him for, but we would need him for if we needed him for that game, and he just wasn't there due to injury. And obviously Jonathan Allen as well. He had for the most part a partially torn pec, but he missed the majority of the season. Again, not trying to blame injuries on these guys, but being injured, not living up to our contract expectations, expecting to take that next leap. Like after Jonathan Allen had that good year that got him paid, hasn't been the same since. Same with Deron Payne. Since he had 11.5 sacks that 1 year, he hasn't done jack squat anything, really. So, again, not saying Odighizuwa would be a godsend over them, but I would much rather take a chance on a new guy and see what he could potentially do in a scheme in which he's familiar with and he thrived in before than to roll with Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne again. I think we need to revamp this whole entire defensive line. What says you out there? As always, me, your boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let me just go throw this in the comment section down below. Washington interested in Osa Odighizuwa, and a lot of beat reporters have us tied to him once free agency comes around. As always, me, your boy Juan Gotti. I'll catch y'all later. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You see it. Sub, please, please, please. Thank you so much. Have a blessed one. Stay safe. Be easy out there. Peace.